Team Fortress 2 is a diverse game. It has 9 different classes, it has playstyles, it has rather distinct weapons, and a variety of weapons that just kind of make you think what were the developers thinking when they put them in the game. But I think there's another thing in Team Fortress 2. Each single weapon has its own distinct sound. And I think, for part of that, that's just the game and how it plays. But I think also the game itself is rather unique because the sounds can be louder and quieter depending on the class you're using. Take for example Pyro. If you take any of his melees, except maybe for the Neon Annihilator, and you compare him to Scout's melees, you'll notice that Scout's melees are noticeably louder than Pyro's. And I think that's rather weird, because it shouldn't be like that. But that's a point that I want to bring up. Does sound really matter in Team Fortress 2? When you're playing as the spy and you're using Eternal Reward, does it really matter that you're super stealthy, comparative if you're just backstabbing? I mean, if they use voice communication, does it really matter? I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments below. But I think the thing I'm going to focus on is the hidden nerf that is among 3 particular weapons. Those weapons being the frying pan, the original, and the Pretty Boy's pocket pistol. Now let's start off with the frying pan. The frying pan is an all-class melee. You can use it to hit people, and there's not really much to say about that. It's an all-class melee. However, it is very loud. When you hit somebody with it, it has that sound that wow, like you can hear it across the map and you'll know exactly what weapon somebody's using. So I think that's a downside for it, because as soon as you're using it, people know what weapon you're using. I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that's a downside? Do you think it's a benefit? I mean, I think it's interesting, but I'm not sure if it's an actual, upside. Anyways, then there's the original. The original is like the stock for the soldier, but it's quite different. People will tell you that the view model is quite different as well. Instead of having the view model with the stock on the right, now it's in the center, so you can technically go around corners easier, in theory. Beyond that, I would say the original is pretty basic. However, it's really distinct because it has its own sound. Whenever you hear the original coming, it's just loud and "here I come" type of sound. It's kind of like the Scout, except it's the original. So, I don't know. I think it's a downside for it, because there's so many other soldier particular weapons that you can use. Like, you could use a direct hit, which if you're good at, you can literally kill any class with 2 or 3 rockets. That's just, insane. But then there's also the stock, which I would say is much quieter and much simpler than the original. I don't know, maybe you can play with view models off so it doesn't even make a difference at all. Let me know what you think. And then there's the Pretty Boy's pocket pistol, the weapon that I wanted to get to from the beginning. Now, the Pretty Boy's pocket pistol is pretty simple, so we're going to go over the stats. It has, on hit, up to 5 health regain per hit, so that's pretty good. And then the wearer doesn't take any fall damage when it's active. That's also really good, because if you're jumping from a high height, you can just pull it out, won't take any fall damage. That's really beneficial. But it also has its downsides. 20% slower firing speed. Now this weapon is super loud, and I think the slower firing speed really ties that in. Because when you're using this weapon, and you shoot from far away, every single person on the map can hear you. I was playing in a CTF match, and from our scout, from the entire opposite end of the map, in landfill, I could hear. That's, just insane. I knew what weapon he was using, because how loud it is. So I think that goes to a heavily non-seen downside. It's a hidden downside. And the weapon also has a damage vulnerability, which I just think the weapon itself needs to be buffed and changed, because the Mad Milk is so much more, how would you say it? I don't know, viable. That's the word. I mean, you can gain health and you won't take any fall damage. But if you just throw milk on somebody, your entire team getting any health on it, and that just makes so much more sense. It reminds me of the Cleaner's Carbine. You can use Durati or the Cleaner's Carbine. So I don't know. I think that's the biggest hidden nerf in Team Fortress 2 that not a lot of people know about. Because again, no one's really thinking about sound until it happens. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. However, I personally think that these weapons could be changed just a bit. Maybe not the Pretty Boy's pocket pistol with sound, but maybe it could have a different and more unique upgrade and buff. Who knows? We'll find out with the Pyro update and updates to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.